Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So, first of all, many loveful greetings and good wishes of Christmas and New Year. So, we just heard the song on Baba's Murli, and we all know what is the importance of Baba's Murli, right? And how essential it is to churn Murli, because Murli is the only tangible thing between the soul and the Supreme Soul. And it is so wonderful that through these Avyakt Murlis, Baba has given us so much knowledge, or it is a source of elevated thoughts, right? When we churn it, when we digest it, as Baba always says, when you churn Murli, you make it yours. You imbibe knowledge. And only then it is possible to retain and strengthen the soul power, the spiritual power. So today, in today's session, we shall churn upon the Murlis which we read in last 3-4 days and reflect on those Murlis with the help of some questions. So before we begin, I would like to suggest that we don't need to make a lot of effort, or we don't need to think too hard to get the answers to these questions. Very simple questions based on Baba's Murli, Baba's versions, which we heard in the last 4 days. So just let the answer emerge from your heart, from the space of wisdom, from the space of experience that is there within each one of us, right? So I'll just share the screen and then 1 minute. Just give me yeah. So this is based on Baba's Murli, which we dated 15th of October 2004. And first, I'll read this paragraph for you all. 1 second. Baba says, say from your heart with love, my Baba, and effort will change into love. As soon as you say my Baba, that sound reaches Baba, and the Father gives help. So Baba is saying that as soon as we say my Baba, the sound reaches Baba, and Baba is there to help us, right? Baba always says, Huzur hazir ho jata hai. So I want you all to think upon these lines, or just recall, when did I experience using this magical key of my Baba, and what benefits did I experience in a practical way? So you all have heard in the Murlis, right? Baba always says, not just Baba, but it is my Baba. It is not someone else's Baba. It is not Dadi's Baba. It is not the sister's Baba, but it is my Baba. So just you all can share any experience you've had in your life, through the Brahmin life, when you've used this magical key of my Baba and you've experienced Baba's help at that moment. So what benefit did you experience in the practical way? Maybe you all can reflect for a minute and then share. Would anyone like to share?
Om Shanti, sister.
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Thank you, Baba. When we say my Baba, and which I practice sometimes as soon as I wake up, my Baba, and I just visualize, firstly, the entire energy around me seems so pure and divine. It's almost like today is going to be another perfect, beautiful day because I have my Baba next to me. And the day I do not do that, it's not that I don't have a good day, but it's not with the same divinity, the same experience. So I would like to share that. Om Shanti.
Very beautiful, sister. For myself as well, I always remember that, in the Lokik world, people say that early morning, whom did you see? No, if your day doesn't go well, they say, "Subah subah pata nahi kiska chehra dekh liya." ऐसे कहते हैं. So we say, I feel that we Brahmins are so fortunate because early morning, as soon as we wake up, we see Baba. We see Baba, we remember Baba. So if you see God Himself, how would your day be, right? Yeah. And Baba always says it is the deal of the heart, right? It is not the deal of words or just for the sake of saying that my Baba. It is not any mantra or something, but then you have to really, it should come from your heart. In Hindi, it is very beautiful that mohabbat mein mehnat nahi. Anyone else would like to share their experience? I'm sure everyone has this experience, right, of saying my Baba and experiencing Baba's help.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, when I was thinking where I've enjoyed this words miraculous, impact. So I'll share for 6 days I was all alone, and that was 2 months back, and I kind of invoked my Baba, and it was such a special feel. Those 6 days were spent just with me and my Baba. That's it. How much I could enjoy his company, how much I could cherish those moments, special time with him, uh, got up with him, slept with him, enjoyed every bit of it. Those were memorable golden moments. That's all I could share. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. So shall we move ahead or anyone would like to share?
Om Shanti, sister. Good morning to everyone. When I use this magical key of my Baba, I'll feel strong. I'll feel energetic. I never feel that I'm alone. I can handle any kind of situations because I'm along with Baba. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister, for sharing. This is another version that we heard from the Murli, 15th October 2004. And Baba says, this is what Bapdada wants, that you're able to put a full stop in a second. Just as when you put a full stop on a piece of paper, so this should be even faster than that. You put a full stop on a piece of paper, you need a paper, you need a pen, that takes time, but that still it is so fast. And Baba says in your mind, it should be so easy, so quick to put a full stop. In bringing about transformation, put a full stop to anything that is not accurate. So the question is, what strategies you use to make your mind silent in meditation? What strategies you use to make your mind silent in meditation? And how can I use this point to deepen my experience in yoga? So the first question is, what strategies you use to make your mind silent in meditation? everyone has their unique ways, right? And when we sit in meditation, if our mind wanders, if we remember something, maybe it is not waste, but at the time of remembrance, Baba says, even if you have thoughts of service, then that is waste or that is not right, because that time is for your meditation. And if you're thinking about service, then you're not fulfilling the purpose for which you're sitting. So Baba says, how? So the question here is, how do you bring your mind on track? How do you focus your intellect? How do you put a full stop to the other thoughts and just remember one Baba? Anyone can share, just unmute yourself and share.
Om Shanti. The strategy I would apply during put a full stop.
Yeah.
I would play some Baba's song so that my mind is totally diverted and will be deepen in that wordings of the song, so that I don't distract by the words which is making me suffering and all that. So that makes me happy and that makes me calm also.
This is a very nice and very easy technique, right? Just play a nice Baba song and experience those words, those lyrics. Baba, many a times in Sakar Murlis, Baba says that these songs are the life-giving herb. ये गीत जो है संजीवनी बूटी है. So it brings back the mind on track. Yes. So this question here, it is important to share because it will help everyone, right? We all can use each other's methods and see how it helps us in meditation to silence our mind. Anyone else would like to share?
Yes, Om Shanti, sister. So what I have been practicing is when I'm doing my daily work or my daily activities, like Sister Ami said, I generally prefer to continuously play some of the other chants or musical prayers. I frankly do not limit it only to the prayers which is by the Brahma Kumaris, but I do like universal. But every vibration I connect to Baba. To me, it doesn't matter which is the prayer, because it is the essence. That essence of the prayer, it has to touch my heart. So that helps me, because even when you're doing your daily work, your mind somewhere, even in your slightest disturbance, it goes onto the focus of that prayer and the focus on the light, the supreme light. Even at work, I have placed it right in front of my eyes. Even the slightest 1 second, I feel I'm uncomfortable, I just look at the light. And when I'm praying in silence, where there is no music, no anything in the morning or any such thing, then if my mind goes here and there, I just focus and come back slowly on the light and just keep visualizing the triple light. I am the light, Baba is the light, Bab Dada is the light, and I just come back. And I don't worry too much on why I deviated and because sometimes maybe the task of that day is such. I just come back and I forget about why I deviated. I just come back. And in the end of the prayer, I just say, thank you, Baba, for helping me to come back and helping me to focus again. Om Shanti. That's what I do for silence meditation and for my work.
Yes, sister, very rightly said. You don't need to suppress your thoughts or something like that, but just very gently, very lovingly bring your mind on track. Because I always think that I have made this time specially for my meditation, so I should use my time in a worthwhile way. And Baba says, no, the time that is spent in remembrance, that becomes eternal, avinashi hota hai. So just using my time in a worthwhile way. If anyone else has any other techniques?
Om Shanti. Good morning. I usually have the habit of keep on taking up some swaman, and I just keep on repeating the swaman. That's my habit.
one thing I had heard from the Dadis, and I have been using that method, Dadi once said that just begin to praise Baba. If you are not able to focus your mind, or though sometimes the force of some thoughts is so much, so powerful that you're not able to just stop and focus on Baba. Baba को याद करना भी मुश्किल हो जाता है कभी-कभी at that state of mind. So you just begin to praise Baba. Daddy said, just begin to praise Baba. We all know, right? Baba is the ocean of love. Baba is the ocean of knowledge, mercy, so many other qualities. So just begin to praise Baba, and emerge that feeling of gratitude in your heart. And when you have gratitude for Baba, for drama, for the family, automatically, your mind becomes free of waste or free of any other thoughts. And mind becomes silent, because the feeling of gratitude has a lot of power, I feel. That is also one of the method I use. Just begin to thank Baba, thank this universe, thank the family. Shivani Ven is also saying, that's what the devotees do. I think it might help some souls for them to actually practice the 1-minute hourly breaks and traffic controls, because I've frequently heard from Dadis that long period of practice of practicing traffic controls, mental breaks, is extremely helpful. Yes, very nice. Of course, how your day is spent. As Baba says, Amrit Vela meditation depends on your day. It's not just one time thing, but it depends on the entire day. So this 1-minute silence practicing every hour is really helpful. Yeah. Thank you everyone for sharing. Here Baba says, in order to finish the waste, simply use 2 terms in your thoughts, words and actions and behavior from Amrit Vela till night. Put this into practical form. These 2 terms are self-respect and respect for others. Swaman or Samman. You have to stay in your self-respect and give respect to others. No matter what someone else is like, I have to give that one respect. I have to give respect and stay in my stage of self-respect. So, just as the father has respect for every child in his vision and attitude, he has regard in the same way. Let there be self-respect and respect for others in your vision and attitude. These versions are from Avyakt Murli, dated 15th October 2004. So here Baba is saying that the method, or just to finish the waste, because the common complaint that everyone has is of waste thoughts. So Baba said, just throughout the day from Amrit Vela till night, stay in your self-respect and give respect. Because Baba sometimes says, Sara Smriti ka hi khel hai, right? It all depends on your awareness. If it is there in your awareness, it will come in your words, it will come in your actions, right? So, self-respect and respect. The question here is, what powers or virtues are needed to be a constant bestower of respect? What powers or virtues are needed to be a constant bestower of respect? What do you think? What virtues or which powers you use to be a bestower of respect?
I would use the power of love. So with the help of love, when you have content with love, you can give respect to others, and when you achieve respect from others also.
Yes, Swami. Even to me, that was the first thing that came to my mind, that power of love really helps us Because having this vision of, we belong to one world family, that brings the feeling of love for each and every soul, whatever their part may be. Baba has mentioned here, no matter what someone else is like, but I have to give that one respect. Anyone else would like to share?
Yeah, sister, power of truth, knowledge. And we have to become like father, especially month of January. So what Baba does, he loves everyone without any condition. So that truth, that knowledge, I have to become Bab Saman, like father. So how Baba takes everyone in his heart. So how Baba loves me with all my imperfections, and how he makes me his own, that special feeling. So that truth, that knowledge, that wisdom, that helps me. I have to become like father, and how he takes me, how he has accepted me, how he loves and pampers me. So I have to keep that nazariya, that for everyone. I have to regard everyone like Baba regards me. So I have to just follow that. Thank you, sister.
Yeah.
I would like to follow the power of humbleness.
Yes, power of humbleness, humility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as Anshuben was saying, I really liked it. Baba accepts us with our imperfections, right? We are not perfect yet, so Baba accepted us. Baba made us belong to him. So at this very moment, I just remembered, once I was just asking a senior sister in Madhuban that I'm not able to have that feeling of respect towards one particular soul in my life. And because whenever I see that person, I remember I'm reminded of the weakness that I've seen in that soul. So I was not able to have that respect, internally. Outside, I didn't do anything like that would show disregard or disrespect. No, but then internally, I used to feel I know how she is. So even that is not right then, And then that sister immediately pointed out to me, "Are you perfect?" And then the answer was no, right? We all know what our weaknesses are. And like Baba said in 15th December's Murli, right? When you point a finger, Baba made that gesture, right? When you point one finger towards someone else, the other remaining 3 or 4 fingers are pointing to you. So we also need to have this awareness, just like Baba accepted all of us as we are. Baba is transforming us, so we need to accept as they are. So the power of acceptance, power of love, power of forgiveness also, I feel. It's important to give respect, right? Because I remember once, Brahma Baba's story I'll share. It's a very nice one. I always remember that because once a brother was there in the yajna, and for some reason he left Baba, and he didn't just leave Baba, but he began to do this service as well. And after some time, after few years, he realized his mistake, and had a lot of regret in his heart. He wanted to come back to Baba, but he was not able to come back to Baba. He didn't have that courage to come in front of Baba because he had done such karmas, such disservice of the yajna. So Brahma Baba came to know through one brother that this brother wants to come back to Baba. And he's not able to, gather that courage, or he's feeling that guilt or regret. Then Baba himself, wrote a letter to that brother, and Baba wrote very beautifully just just one line in the letter, one line of the Hindi song. Baba said, "A Lord ke aja mere meet." Maybe you all have heard that song. "A Lord ke aja mere meet." This line Baba wrote in that letter and sent it to that brother. And he was so much, filled with Baba's love, and he came back to Baba. He did a lot of service later on. So this power of forgiveness also helps us to have respect, regard in our vision, in our attitude towards every soul. Yeah. Anyone?
Thank you, sister. That's a beautiful incident that you've quoted.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of an incident in my own life where I did something similar, not using a Hindi song,
Yeah.
but I was trying to forgive this weakness in a person that I know and very close to me. And I was getting so disturbed from inside that how can such a pure person have such a gross weakness? And then I started reflecting, why am I even thinking like this? Whereas in the Murli, they always tell us, Vah drama, Vah also.
Yeah.
So I feel along with the power of love and the power of forgiveness, the power of accommodation, I think understanding that this is the drama. Maybe
Yes.
that person is behaving in a certain way. He just cannot help it, or she just cannot help it. Like, that's the way it is. And where Baba says in the Murlis to visualize yourself in the angelic form like a deity, and you keep blessing everyone, even if they are doing whatever they are doing. And I think that is what has helped me in this technique of having this respect for others. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, knowledge is power, right? That is why listening to the Murli regularly helps us to remember that point at that very moment, because it is not that we forget, but it should come on time, right? Yeah. So the next question is, when does giving respect to someone becomes a challenge for me? When does giving respect to someone becomes a challenge for me? What happens when I'm not able to give respect to someone? Huh? I think we've already shared a part of it. Like I said, when we see someone's weaknesses or when we dislike someone's actions or we feel that they are not, as per my expectations, then it is difficult to give respect, right? Anyone
It's like
else
when
would like to add
somebody,
on? Yeah,
you feel that somebody is abusing you or using harsh words against you, saying something wrong about the yagya. So that time you just feel that how to give respect to this person. So it's like something challenging for us. Though we are in yagya, then that time we feel no. Baba has taught us not to go against him. It's better to accept that situation and be calm at that moment.
yeah.
Om Shanti. I'll narrate one experience. One a nice sister soul, brother soul, who had been asking me last 2-3 days, what should I do? What should I do? And whatever Baba was telling her through me, she was doing just the opposite, just the opposite. And she knew she could take a lot of my time. And the time came when I surrendered it to Baba. I said, this particular soul is destined to do the things to make me detached and to be a well-wisher of her. So I kept feeling at least I should not be affected by her actions. It's okay. She doesn't have that power. So with my good wishes, I could feel I wasn't affected by her things. And the time came that soul realized, she said she applauded the efforts of Baba and she said she's going to work on that. So if we are sincere, the key point is, if we are sincere in giving regard to the soul, irrespective of how she's behaving, because it's in her drama, she has to do that like that. But if I accept her totally and with the good wishes of Baba, then needful will be done. Things will be wonderful. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Yeah, as you were sharing, I just remembered once Baba said, to give respect means what? Hmm? So Baba, in that Murli, that was a very deep point that touched me. Baba said, even if you relate to anyone's weaknesses, in your thoughts or in your words, If you tell someone's weaknesses to a third person, so that is also disregard for that soul, disrespecting that soul. So yes, here the knowledge of drama really helps us, because everyone is unique. Everyone has different sanskars, and that is the beauty of drama, right? Okay.
Adding on to what we were just discussing, Sharmila, in my case, the giving respect is not very difficult. It comes naturally. But what I could see here is, at a particular moment when a soul or a person is trying to confront me or unnecessarily shout at me in front of others, at that moment is somewhere I lose my calm and I may answer back. And that answer might be the answering back would be very harsh, and the other person then gets the feeling that I'm disrespecting him, which is a truth. Okay. Now, these situations had been coming, and in my experience, then it also brings conflict in that relationship. So of late, what I'm doing is, even if somebody is trying to trigger me in front of others or trying to put across some kind of allegations which I have not done, I only catch myself and keep my calm. It had not been very easy. I fall a lot of time, but I've started practicing that, I'm a soul, the other person is also a soul. And that practice has really been working pretty well. And I'm able to manage my calm and catch that let's not get into any kind of harsh conversation here, wherein there is a space of disrespect uh, in that relationship and also for the other person. And that is one practice which is supporting me, because the moment you say the other person is soul, then the whole gyan reflects back. Om Shanti.
Even I understand what you are saying, because what you have experienced, or what the experience you shared is so deep rooted. We automatically tend to disrespect somebody who is disrespecting us. But Sharmila Ben, if you remember, a few years ago, we were involved in the Spotlight Values program. So that kind of provoked me to think about adverse situations, because that's what the concept was, right? To highlight on my values in situations that are provoking me to act otherwise. So when I did this experiment a few years ago, and it sort of worked. I don't know, I'll just try to be very sensible. And I must actually, I confess that I have learned this trick by observing Lokik landscape. I mean, by observing Lokik people and learning from the Lokik landscape. And it might be a little funny, but when you are being provoked, okay, or you might think, or you might tell yourself that I am being provoked and I should respond. Actually, go absolutely silent and be neutral. And when you are neutral and you are not affected, in the sense, somebody might be shouting or whatever, it could be a very bad situation, for example. It happens every single day in our life. It happened yesterday, day before, whatever. But if we go completely neutral, later on, we might even look at the whole thing like it was a scene in the movie. Because when we are watching a movie, or when we are watching something on the screen, we are not affected by what is going on, because we are separate from that screen. So not getting emotional at that time, emotional as in not necessarily hurt or angry or something, it could be any emotion. But if something is happening, then we know that there is something wrong on the other side, which is provoking this reaction from that soul. So I don't have to be affected. And I have a bunch of experiences where when we do this, it gives them this space to not just reflect on what they have done, but also be very respectful towards us. They might express, they might not express, they might apologize, they might not apologize. but it will always give them the space and the realization that this person did not answer back, means that they themselves are holding themselves in high respect. So I should have not behaved in that way, because then I lowered my standards, because that is what is required at that time. For you to step back and give them the space and the opportunity to think. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it is important, and I'm sure everyone has such experiences, because this giving respect really sometimes becomes a challenge. But as you said, as you've written in the chat as well, practicing Baba's Swaman. And last time when we met, we had taken up this homework, right, to write for other souls as well. For 2 souls, I had mentioned that time. And since then, even I'm writing, and I had a bit of, not a very good feeling in a relationship with one particular soul. And then I was writing for that soul, this one is a pure soul, a loving soul. And really from my heart, I had respect for that soul. I had love for that soul. So Baba's self-respect, Baba's Swaman, and writing really helps.
I reciprocate the same, Sharmila Ben, as I shared with you yesterday, that practice is really supporting me a lot. Even in the class yesterday, I said, the simple homework of writing, I am the soul and the other person is a soul, uses, that space of looking at someone's positives becomes so high, there is no space to look at anybody's negative. So that simple practice really is allowing a lot. And adding on to what Shivani Ben was talking about, withdrawing from a situation, not with arrogance, but with self-respect for self and the other, is one of the way to stand in the world of respecting others in any situation that comes in.
Yeah.
Because in commonly what happens is when there is a provocation, because I'm assuming that here we are subconsciously thinking of situations where there is an altercation or some kind of friction or something like that, right? So like everyone was also talking about weaknesses and all those things. So when we are stepping back or when we are withdrawing, sometimes we might think that we are actually running away. But what normally happens is another thing, that person, the one who is in that frame of mind or an outburst or something, when this incident is over, immediately they start blaming themselves. Whether we react or we don't, I mean, when 2 people are fighting or so quarreling or whatever, for example, they both will blame themselves, they both will blame each other when they are in the situation. But later on, when they come back and they cool down, they start blaming themselves. Whereas, supposing if one person does not react at all, okay, and allows the other one to just continue with their outburst, when the outburst calms down, a few moments, a few days later, whatever, the person might even reflect on their own actions and have the scope to work on it and correct it in the next interaction. And it might not happen with them again. But if I am going on firing from my side, then they might not have the golden opportunity to realize and to heal, because healing is important. Whereas Baba says that if you're going to continue to waste your time in healing and reacting and upar niche, that fluctuation, if that happens, when are you going to connect to me? So if you can, only when you are stable, like that line is clear, it's linear, only then will you be able to, because all these things will keep coming back bothering you in meditation. And that is the ultimate thing from Baba, right? Baba wants us to be connected to Baba only.
Yes. In essence, I can say in medical language, we say it as SOS. SOS is stop, observe, and steer. Like whenever you are in a scene, you feel you're going to get entangled, so better to stop, observe. That means just detach yourself from that scene and then steer. Steer is, you give a direction to your thoughts as you want. So we call it as SOS. Because any particular medicine, if you need to take as and when required, that is said to be SOS. Take this medicine SOS. So Baba says, stop, observe and steer. Okay, so let's move ahead. Here Baba says, all the powers are your inheritance from Bab Dada. You should be able to use any power at the time you invoke that power according to the time and the situation. All the powers are also present in front of the lords, the children, who follow every Srimad of the Lord, saying, yes, my Lord, I am present, I accept. So basically, Baba says that if you are present, if you make yourself ready to follow every Srimad of Baba, then every power will be present in front of you to serve you whenever you need, wherever you need. So the question here is, do I have the faith in everything that Baba says? Is it easy for me to say, yes, my Lord, I am present? Do I have the faith in everything that Baba says? And am I able to say, yes, present Baba, I'm present, I accept whatever you say? This is a bit personal question, so maybe you can reflect for a minute and then share. Yeah, anyone would like to share?
Om Shanti. So, with respect to whatever Baba says, and analytical soul that I mean, it had not been very easy for me initially to say yes for everything. And I had been questioning a lot of things to sisters from whom I'd taken Gyan. And um, I had a simple question even while giving away not eating onion and lesson in the process. And initial 6 months, I haven't followed anything, though I used to listen to Murli. I used to go to the center. Okay. And I had questions as to why all of this needs to be stopped. Okay. And nobody forced me on that. The beauty was sisters allowed for me to experiment and experience what difference it makes. But somewhere, following the process, following the system had been always ingrained, given the profession of managing things was always there. So while I was traveling to Madhuban for 4 days in the initial year of 2018, I said, okay, at least for this 4 days, I will practice because that is what is the process. Okay? And I was going there for an public event. That's my first visit to Madhuban. But after I came back from Madhuban, because it's 4 days, I experiment not having onion and lasan. And that process of having food without those two things had made me feel calm and easy for those 4 days. And it became just a part of me when I came back to Mumbai. And that is the time I realized that, yeah, this experiment really supported me. And from there, the faith started building up on Gyan and what Baba was telling. And that was the first step. And as I always share on this group, in 2019, during pandemic times, I experiment another sman on another lesson from Baba's knowledge. And that lesson was when things that which you don't have answer to, surrender it to Drama, surrender it to Almighty. And the moment the business was being surrendered to Baba, the whole picture which was so dark and unclear for me as to how to even run an organization and run the business, uh, it showed up in a very positive way. And in fact, we're now growing as a business, and we have no idea as to how that first 6 months showed up in the process. So for me, what worked was experimenting and experiencing for my own self, and then building a faith to what Baba says. And it has now moved to a different level. That's how I could connect to this question.
Thank you, Rakiben. Asking questions to seniors or to Baba as well, with the intention of getting clarity or understanding knowledge at a deeper level, that is a different thing, right? That is okay. In fact, Baba says you should get clarified if you have any questions in your mind. But then faith, whenever this topic of faith comes up, I always remember Mama. One experience of Mama's life is what I remember, when Mama was not physically well and she was going through cancer actually. And she visited a doctor in Bombay, and doctor said that Mama needs to undergo a surgery as early as possible, urgent operation needs to be done. So they brought back Mama to Madhuban, and they told everything to Baba that doctor has told that Mama needs operation. But Brahma Baba at that time he said no, operation nahi hoga. And Mama was like, she didn't even create a thought that why is Baba saying like this? Doctor bol raha hai ki operation karna hai. Still Baba is saying no. Mama didn't even have that in her thoughts, I really imagine what a level of faith Mama had in Baba, in Sakar Baba. Not just Shiv Baba, but Brahma Baba as well. If I imagine myself to be in that situation, anyone would say that why is Baba saying like this? Doctor is saying so we need to get the treatment done. But no, Mama had that much faith that Baba is saying so it is. So that was the level of faith that our dadis and Mama had in Baba. So Baba said, when I have faith, when I follow Srimad, then the powers are also present for me to serve. So what are the things that, what causes my faith to shake? Are there times when your faith shakes or no?
Om Shanti.
Yes, sister.
Yes, I do trust Baba, but in some situations when we are not introvert, and we see outer situations, so we get so much influenced by those situations that logically it seems that we are going very, very wrong, because our mind says so many things and our heart says only Baba is right. Whatever Baba says is correct. So it becomes a fight between the mind and the or the intellect, or you can say, and the heart. So at that time it's all about the art of loving Baba, and this is the time when we have to we can be different from others. This is a paper time, so this is the time we have to love Baba and just do what he says, because our heart says to do it. So then we can follow the father's Srimad, and also means at that is the love. It is the love which does not cause our faith to shake. Otherwise, if we go into the things, then definitely our faith shakes. So we have to be very, very stable. And from this experience, I came to know that the complete state of purity is the state in which we can be so stable that we are able to check our thoughts, what thoughts we are creating, because that is the main point from where everything starts. So the biggest level of purity is to be in a state in which we can check our each and every thought. That is the state of being Sakshi and enjoying the drama. Om Shanti.
Yes, very nicely shared, sister. When we really get entangled in the scene, in drama, and we are not able to detach ourselves, That is the time when this happens. And I remember the mantra that the Dadis and even Brahma Baba followed in his life was that of that Shiv Baba is the Karan Karavanhar, right? It is Baba's task, it is Baba's yajna. Baba is getting it done through us. So that faith, whatever the test papers came, definitely, we all know from the stories, right? They had so many test papers. We don't have those test papers now. But then still, never shaken their faith. Okay, shall we move ahead? Bab Dada has seen that you have knowledge in your awareness and that you also have intoxication and faith. However, there now has to be an addition that this should be visible through your behavior and your face. The sparkling star of fortune should be visible on your forehead. There needs to be this addition now. So become an image that grants vision, become equal to Father Brahma in a visible way. So would anyone like to share an experience? When was it that service was done through your face, through your behavior or actions, and not through speech? Or can you recall when was someone inspired by your divine quality that they observed through your actions? So what Baba is saying here, were you able to serve through your behavior, through your actions, through your face and not words? So is there any experience anyone would like to share? Or someone acknowledge, this quality seen in you, or they feel very peaceful looking at you. Huh?
Om
Yeah.
Shanti Sister again. And uh, through my experience in the lockdown, it was a situation where we did not have our maids at our homes and we had to do all the work alone. So that was a situation when they also needed our support at the same time. So when we become so greedy that no, we need maids, we cannot do our tasks on our own. So we give them money, but we make them do the tasks. So that is a state when they are forced to do work for the money. But when we decide that we will do the work by ourselves, even where when they are ready to come, so it was a time when we should have the respect for the poor. And it was and at that time that I did all the work on my own. So when they saw me doing the work, so they were inspired that yes, people do respect our task, they do respect our job, and that is why they are ready to do it even when we are not there. So that was the time that through my actions everyone respected me. And they did not want the money at that time. That was a situation when there was lot to give through our thoughts, through our vibrations, than the money. So through those things I supported the maids, and so they were I was able to bring smile on their face. So that was my experience. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, sister. Maybe we all can just try to recall throughout the day. And Baba says, no, these experiences, they add on to our intoxication, right? The next is the power of purity makes you a conqueror of Maya and a conqueror of the physical organs. It makes you victorious. The sign of a carefree emperor is that he is always content with himself and also makes others content. The method to become carefree is, this is the point to underline, the method to become carefree is transform mine into yours. It is not mine, but yours. Mere ko tere mein badalna, Baba says. So transform mine into yours. So let us practice this together collectively, a kind of a mental exercise, okay? So just sit back straight, relax your body, and imagine a circle in which you stand and remember everything that is mine. At this very moment, practice this. imagine that you're standing in a circle, and within this circle, there is everything that I think is mine, my job, my profession, my family, my children, my pet, my property, whatever. So my relations, my assets. Imagine that you're standing in this circle, and in this circle, everything that is mine is there. Now, step out of this circle and stand in a circle which is next to this one. Step out of the circle and stand in another circle in which Baba is standing. Visualize that Baba is standing in this outer circle, and you step to Baba and say all of that is no longer mine. See that Baba is standing there, you are in front of Baba, and whatever was mine in the inner circle, am I able to hand over it to Baba? Baba, this is yours. Your body, your mind, your family, your possessions, your property. All that was there in the inner circle no longer belongs to me. It is yours. Baba, it is yours. Om Shanti. So is this exercise, was it easy for you to hand over it to Baba? Or is there anything that was creating an obstacle to say that Baba, this is yours? We can reflect upon this later in the day part. And the last question here is, the easiest thing, the Murli that we read yesterday, the easiest thing of all in your efforts is to give good wishes and receive good wishes. Give happiness, receive happiness. Do not cause sorrow and do not take sorrow. Even now, if there are any bad wishes for anyone in your mind, then remove them. If there is ever an influence of bad wishes, then give tenfold more good wishes and finish that influence. Reduce the influence of one bad wish with tenfold good wishes, and you will then have the courage. So the question here is, what is one anchor thought that helps you to give good wishes? Can anyone just quickly share, because we've done with our time available. So what is one anchor thought that helps you to give good wishes to everyone?
We are all pure souls connected to Baba in a divine form. Just visualize that, easiest way for me at least.
Yes,
Om
yes.
Shanti.
Same here, just see them as originally pure souls belonging to my Baba. They are the children of my Baba. No? Yeah.
And adding on to Sharmila Ben and Harpreet Ben, what you mentioned, getting in the world of soul consciousness, and then standing in self-respect and respect for the other soul are two things which works, because if somebody is telling me something and if I am getting provoked or triggered, then that is not the other soul's problem, that's my problem, because I am moving out of my self-respect. So adding on to purity, and from there moving on to the divine space of accepting each one in their original form. Om Shanti.
Yeah. We are all celebrating Christmas and approaching New Year. So we give good wishes, right? But sometimes it is just out of you're so, it becomes a habit and you just wish everyone. But then really, let us focus what Baba said in yesterday's Murli, and you will hear the part of it tomorrow. But Baba really wants us to be such that we have good wishes for each and every soul. Whatever they are like, let them do anything, but the Baba said, you have good wishes. Now I would like to invite you all to just sit in silence for a moment. Let this take up as meditation and we'll end the session. Just bring in front of you 5 people or whoever you want to, not necessarily 5, any number of people in front of you for whom you don't necessarily think good or bad. However, now in this moment, just create benevolent thoughts and send good wishes towards them consciously. Why am I using the word consciously here? Because sometimes what happens is Baba says there is no integrity in between our thoughts, words and actions sometimes. हम कुछ बोल देते हैं and we think that no, but internally I have good wishes for them. My intention is not bad. I always have good wishes for everyone. We feel that, we say that, we think that way. But then actually, even that is not right, no? Good wishes have to be emerged, not merged. So let us now sit in silence. Sit in the awareness of your divine soul, point of light shining in the center of the forehead. Invoke Baba. Become combined with Baba. And now emerge these souls in front of you. They may be your friends, your relatives, your colleagues. And just consciously give them good wishes. Create pure feelings towards each and every soul. Sit with Baba and absorb Baba's vibrations, Baba's light, and radiate this light to these souls. May their pure wishes come true. They are able to claim their inheritance from Baba. Inheritance of peace, inheritance of love, purity, power. I absorb from Baba and I radiate Baba's light and might all around me. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Sharmila Ben, for a wonderful session. It was a very good churning on all the Murlis. Thank you, all of you, and see you tomorrow. Happy
Thank you.
holidays to all of you.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti, everyone. Thank you.
Om Shanti.